Our next question, Jim, sent to CornyDriveThru at gmail.com from Iran. Jim.
Now, wait, is this the country or the person?
Oh, it's Arran.
Oh, I thought it was from Iran.
No, Iran, I think. But here's Iran, I think's question.
I ran so far away. Couldn't get away.
Jim being there at the beginning of Orton's career in OVW, could you foresee the success he has had? Being a 14-time WWE champion and youngest ever champion is a spectacular achievement. However, even with an amazing look and athletic ability, his lack of personality on camera and mic skills somewhat split fans. A lot see him as a Ken doll who was fortunate
Now, wait a minute. Is he saying... What did he do? Was that when he was a rookie in his rookie year, or is he saying that Orton can't do a promo? And what else did he say? Is he applying that to now?
Well, let me go back. I'll read it again. Again, he's referring to the fact you've been there since the beginning of Orton's career, but I think this is about his entire career. However, even with an amazing look and athletic ability, his lack of personality on camera and mic skills somewhat split fans. A lot see him as a Ken doll who was fortunate to come along in the era where most of the talented wrestlers were not big guys. And therefore, he got ahead of the pack with his look and size only. If Orton was around in the 80s or 90s, I think he would have been a mid-carder at best.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
A lot to tackle here from Iran.
First of all, he got over just because of his size, because a bunch of the guys weren't that big then. He was in the same class with Batista and Lesnar.
And Cena.
Cena was bigger then than he is now, but point is, Jesus Christ, Randy Orton, lack of personality. Randy Orton can't cut a promo. What the fuck? I don't understand where this... I think back to what Paul Heyman said, wasn't even 10 years ago. It's more recent than that. If you're going to start a wrestling program or wrestling promotion, pick the 5 guys that you want to start on the roster. And he said Randy Orton, Randy Orton, Randy Orton, Randy Orton, and Randy Orton. He wouldn't say the same thing now because Randy's 10 years older and doesn't want to do this for that much longer, I don't think. But otherwise, no, we knew... Again, that Randy was going to be some level of a star, except we weren't convinced of it like I was with Cena, like I was with Rock, like I was with a few other people, because Randy's attitude and determination was still in question. That was the only question. As far as he's what, 6'2", 6'3". He had the height. When he was in OVW, he was not as dedicated to his training. He was only 19 years old, but he had a little flab around the middle, had just a couple of the tattoos, the ones that looked crummy. He wasn't tanning. And to be quite honest, well, I've told this story, and I still have the VHS tape. They were doing training class at the old Davis Arena in Jeffersonville, the old place, and Randy and somebody else were sitting at the announce desk, and they were watching one of the training matches. And again, he's 19 years old. He's gotten a contract for $750 a week as a developmental because he's Bob Orton Jr.'s son and Bob Orton Sr.'s grandson to learn to wrestle. And he's not that particularly dedicated to it yet. So Danny Davis is running the tape on the training session, but when he flipped everything on, the microphones are on too. And Danny's sitting back in the office listening to Orton talk to whoever he's sitting with. And he said, yeah, I don't give a shit about wrestling. I just want to show up and get my $750 a week. I hate wrestling. So after it was over with, Danny called me. I don't even think he called him in that day. I think he called me. He said, listen to this. He told me about it. Then we called him in and said, dumb shit. Even if that's the way you feel, don't be doing an open mic night about it. And you have an opportunity here. You, because of your, not only your family lineage, but also just because of your genetics, you're probably going to have a chance to make good money in this business. Don't fuck it up. Straighten your attitude out. He wasn't in as good physical shape then. as obviously as he would get later on, but he started taking things more seriously. He didn't get selling naturally. He dish-ragged a bit, and he sold with his head down, and the facial expressions weren't there, but he was good on offense, especially with that big standing drop kick, and different that you could see that if, as he got older, grew up, got in better shape, dedicated himself more, he had all the tools and could get it. And finally he did. And
did you think he was going to come along better as a babyface or as a heel?
Just because he's a 19-year-old kid, I saw him as a babyface, and that's the way we used him because, he didn't have an over-the-top personality then. And he was very young, and he was the son of a wrestling legend. And he didn't really know how to lead a match or put a match together at that point. So why are you going to try to make that guy heel? Make him a babyface and let him get comfortable and let him do this a bunch and let him do a variety of angles and things. And then when he's a little bit older and in a little bit better shape, then he can start getting a bad attitude on camera instead of behind the scenes. And that's kind of the way that it went. But no, again, you could see he wasn't an all-around package like Kurt Angle or like The Rock, which they had pretty much. Kurt's personality and his promos didn't come immediately, but they came fairly quickly. But at the same time, you could see there was a bunch of positives there, and you just needed to try to let them come out over time. But if he hadn't have gotten dedicated to the business, we wouldn't be talking about him now. And he has made 7 figures per year on a variety of years in that job since he's been there, because what I just referred to happened in 22 years ago.
Well, at that point, Jim, a lot of people were predicting the future for Randy Orton. A lot of people like yourself or Danny Davis saw his future, but he couldn't see his future clearly.
He couldn't see it because of poor visibility. Folks, I'm telling you what, you can't run your life. You can't run a business. You can't run a massage parlor. You can't run anything if you've got poor visibility because you're still relying on spreadsheets and outdated financial software. That's the easiest way to just be in the weeds, because to see the full picture, you need to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle. Now, I know that a lot of these things that I'm about to say may surprise you, Brian Last, but however, NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system to power your growth. With all other financial systems, they're here on the ground. NetSuite's financial system is way up in the clouds where they can look down on everybody, look down their noses at them because they're the best. With visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, NetSuite is everything you need to grow all in one place. If you give NetSuite control of everything, they'll run off with it and they'll make you $1 million forever. You give them control of your financials.
Don't guarantee that. Don't guarantee that. We can't guarantee that.
I'm telling you, you sign all of your financials over to NetSuite. You sign all of your inventory over to NetSuite, and they'll take it and they'll make a fortune with it.
This isn't how it works. There's no power of attorney. There's no transfer like this.
Oh, so NetSuite gives you control of your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more. I thought they were taking control of it for you. They give you control of all those things.
Well, I'm glad we got that cleared up.
Never mind. With NetSuite, you can automate your processes and close your books in no time. I closed my book last night. I'd actually finished my pizza and I was going to read for a minute before I went to sleep, but I was so daggum sleepy when I got full that I closed that book, set it aside. But you can automate your processes and close your books in no time while staying well ahead of your competition. And what are they competition at? I don't know. Whatever your business is, you probably got competition. You're going to stay ahead of them. 93% of surveyed businesses increased their visibility and control after upgrading to NetSuite. 5% were sentenced to federal prison.
No.
2% are still awaiting indictment.
No. There are no 5 and 2%.
No, there's not. Well, that would be 7. 93 plus 7. But 93% of surveyed businesses increased their visibility and control after upgrading to what it is that NetSuite does for you. Folks, over 28,000 businesses already use NetSuite for a variety of things. You don't know what you can use this stuff for. I tell you, it's got multiple uses. For the new year, NetSuite has a new financing program for those ready to upgrade at netsuite.com/JCE. That is NETSUITE.com. NetSuite. Head to netsuite.com/JCE for this special one-of-a-kind financing offer on the #1 financial system for growing businesses, netsuite.com/JCE. They will give you a one-of-a-kind offer on how much money they want, and you better take it. And then they will tell you what they're going to give you for it, and you better like it. netsuite.com/JCE.